Hey guys, welcome back. So today's video is inspired by Anchal. She did this beautiful green eyeshadow, and it's something that I'd never do. I never use green eyeshadows, and it's one of my favorite colors. And after watching hers, I really wanted to do something similar. So this is what I've come up with. I haven't used glitter the way she has, but I've used Makeup Forever's diamond powder, which has glitter in it. But this is what I've come up with. I actually absolutely love the way it's turned out. It looks so beautiful, and this is something that I would actually wear. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and hit the thumbs up button if you like this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye. So I'm starting out with the primer today. I don't often wear primer, but I am gonna put some on today, and I'm using the Rimmel Fix and Perfect Pro Primer. This is a really hydrating formula. It works great on my dry skin. It works brilliantly with foundation, keeps the foundation on for longer, and the foundation goes on quite smooth. So yeah, I really love this primer. And then to color correct the dark areas of my face, I'm using the LA Girl Pro Conceal in the shade Orange, and I'm using this directly from the tube onto the under part of my eyes, on my eyelids, and around my mouth. These areas would look ashy if I didn't apply the corrector. So yeah, and then I'm going to blend those out with the Miracle Eraser Sponge by Real Techniques. This sponge is fantastic. It fits so well around the contours of the eyes, and the texture is very similar to the actual Beauty Blender. For foundation, I'm going in with a full coverage combination. I'm using the NYX Stay Matte But Not Flat, and the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation. I'll have the shade names down below. I can't remember what they are. But I'm going in with a mixture of the two around my face, but under my eyes and along the bridge of my nose, I'm using just the Milani foundation. This is a shade too light for me now because I've tanned, but I use this as a concealer because it just brightens up the area as well. And it's so full coverage that it does a fantastic job at actually concealing. And then I'm going in with that same eraser sponge just to blend out the Milani foundation. I will go in with a beauty blender to blend out the rest of my face, but for the under my eyes and the center part of my face where I've used the lighter foundation, I'm using the smaller sponge. And then here I'm just pouncing the beauty blender all over the rest of my face just to blend in the foundation. Then to contour, I'm using this Illamasqua Skin Base mixture. I think it's in the shade Chestnut, and I just added a little bit to the remaining foundation on the back of my hand, and going in with the same eraser sponge but using the flat end of it to contour, and then to apply the product, and then the other side of the sponge to blend it out as well. This is a really quick way to do it. The mixer made the foundation a little bit grey, so I will go in with a different powder just to warm it up a bit. Contour is meant to be more ashy, but for me, I actually prefer it to be slightly warmer. And then I'm just going back in with the beauty blender just to completely mesh the contour into the foundation and to make it look more natural. And then using the same sponge and contour, I'm going to go down the sides of my nose just to slim it out a bit. And then I will go back in with the same beauty blender just to make sure that's all blended in as well. The one thing about contouring your nose, you need to make sure that there's no sort of harsh line. Well, I really don't like that look of that harsh line on the side of my nose, so I need to make sure it's blended out. But to set the makeup into place, on my eyelid especially to prevent any creasing, I'm using the MAC Studio Fix foundation powder in the shade C5. And I'm using a Real Techniques contour brush to apply this. It applies the product quite densely, which is what I wanted. And then I'm using the same powder under my eyes, but with a more fluffier brush, just to have a little bit more of a diffuse application of the powder. And I'm actually going to set my entire face, except for the contour areas, with this powder. The Milani foundation definitely needs to be set. because it otherwise stays tacky on the skin. And then to highlight the under part of my eyes and the center part of my face, I'm using NC25, again by MAC. It's the Studio Fix Powder Foundation. And I'm going in with the Real Techniques contour brush again. This time I did want a heavier application, just to really set the under part of my eye. I never used to really set my eyes with, my under eyes with powder, but I really love the Studio Fix powder. It does a really good job, and it actually doesn't dry out the under, it doesn't make the under eyes look dry. And then going in with NC45, just along the contours of my face. This is definitely a warmer shade compared to the contour I've applied, just to give that a bit more of a warmer appearance. And I'm just setting the contour areas, so where I applied the contour shade, basically. And then just using a smaller blending brush to apply that same powder to set the contour on my nose. And then to bronze up my face, I'm using MAC Mineralise Skinfinish in Dark Tan, and I'm just going across my cheeks onto my temples, yeah, pretty much where the sun would naturally hit. And then for highlight, I'm going in with the cream highlight first. This is the Sephora highlighting drops. I'll leave all the details down below. I absolutely love this product. It blends into the skin so nicely, and even though I've got powder underneath, it actually blended in so beautifully. It didn't cake up or anything like that. Yeah, this is beautiful. So I'm applying this onto the high points of my cheeks, on my cheekbones, on the bridge of my nose, on my cupid's bow and chin, and a little bit on my forehead. And I was blending that out with the Miracle Eraser Sponge again. And then to set that into place, I'm using the Colourpop Supershock highlighter in Wisp. This was definitely one of my favorite highlighters. I have a video out on my favorite highlighters, and this was in there. I'll link that down below. And then as a base on my eye, I'm using this pencil by Faces Canada. It's just a green pencil, and I forgot to sharpen it, and I couldn't get up to go and get a sharpener because I was going to wake my son up. So yeah, I just had to use it blunt. That's why I'm struggling to put it on. But this pencil is actually amazingly creamy, and it sets into place once it's there and you leave it on for a couple of minutes, it will set into place. But I'm just applying this onto my eyelid and onto my lower lash line, and then I'm blending that out with a Morphe brush. And this is just going to be the base for the eyeshadow. But what this green base will do is allow the green eyeshadow I'm going to put on top to actually pop. And then as a crease color, I'm starting out with this Inglot matte eyeshadow in the shade 300. It's like a camel mustardy shade. It is gorgeous. I'm just using this to add a bit of warmth to the eye. So this is my first transition shade. And then for my brow bone highlight, I'm using Shimmer Shimmer by Makeup Geek. This is more of a cool tone highlight, which goes really well with the actual green eyeshadow that I'm going to apply later. I'm using the Morphe pencil brush here to apply it because I don't want a very thick brow highlight. I just wanted a little bit blended out. And then for the outer corners and inner corners of my eyes, I'm using a black eyeshadow. And I'm using the Black Smoke eyeshadow by the Artist of Makeup. This eyeshadow is jet black. It's highly pigmented. Little bit goes a very long way. Definitely recommend these cosmetics, the Artist of Makeup cosmetics eyeshadows. I'm applying this with a small dome-shaped brush. I think this is by Morphe again. And I'm going in to the inner corners and outer corners with this. It's creating almost like a halo look, but all I wanted was a bit of depth on the inner and outer. So when I go in with the green eyeshadow, I will blend it over the black, but there'll be a bit more depth on the outer and inner corners. And then I'm going to blend out the black eyeshadow, mainly the edges, using a another Morphe brush. This is just blending it into the transition color and around the green. And then to deepen that up and to transition the black eyeshadow into the crease color, I'm using the this Makeup Geek eyeshadow, I think it was Mocha, into the crease. So this is just transitioning the black into the camel shade that we applied earlier by Inglot. I'm going to use the same color and just blend that out onto the lower lash line, concentrating the color more so on the outer corners, but definitely blending that inwards. And then taking this Makeup Forever eyeshadow, it's one of their diamond eyeshadows. I don't have the number of this, but it's the emerald shade, and I'm going over the entire eyelid with this color, so even over the black eyeshadow. And I'm using the same brush that I used to blend out the Kohl pencil. This eyeshadow is beautiful. It is a stunning emerald color with specks of gold glitter in it. It's so beautiful. And then using the same eyeshadow, applying that onto my lower lash line. And then just deepening up the outer corners again using the black eyeshadow. Just adding more depth there. And connecting that black onto the lower lash line as well on the outer corner. And then taking that very first blending brush that we used to apply the Inglot eyeshadow, I'm going to blend out the black eyeshadow. I'm using my finger here as well because it's just easier. But yeah, I'm just using that and applying a little bit more colour as well, just to blend that all in together. I don't want any harsh lines, so yeah. And then I'm using a black pencil here. I think this is the Rimmel Scandaleyes Kohl pencil. Sorry, I didn't take a product shot. And I'm just going with that onto the lower lash line. I didn't like the green entirely, so I wanted to go in with a bit of black just to add more definition. And then on my upper lid, just coating the lash line, I'm using the Maybelline liquid liner, the matte one, and then taking just a clean brush and smudging out that liner. I wanted just to give a bit of depth and definition along the lash line, but I didn't want it to look like I've got liquid liner on. And then I'm just going over that line with a little bit of black eyeshadow just to add to the smokiness of it. And then doing the same thing on the lower lash line. So taking a bit of the black eyeshadow and just stamping that onto the actual lash line. And then going back in with Shimmer Shimmer by Makeup Geek, I'm just using that to highlight the inner corners of my eye. I find this particular eyeshadow, this highlight complements the green really well. Yeah, and then just, I already had my eyebrows filled in, but with all this makeup it just wasn't enough, so I'm going back in with a little bit of eyeshadow, just a mixture of the black and a cool tone brown, just to redefine the eyebrows. Then taking this Makeup Forever, I think it's an eyeshadow, it's one of their large pans, so you could use it as a blush. The number has come off the pan, so I don't really know what it is, but it's basically like a brownish, reddish, mauvish kind of colour. I don't really know how to describe it, but it leans more towards brown. Yeah, and I'm just applying this as a bronzer sort of a colour, and then I found that really too cool tone for my skin, so I went in with a slightly more orange shade. Again, this is by Makeup Forever, and again, the numbers come off the back, so I don't know what it is, but it's basically more of an orange shade, a muted orange blush colour. And then for lips, I'm starting out with a lip liner, and this is one from Primark. It's called Mauveless, basically mauve shade as the name suggests. And I'm lining my lips and filling them in fully with this. This lip pencil, it's a gorgeous colour, but it's not really long lasting, but I'm using it because of the colour. Then I'm going over it with Tootsie, which is a Colourpop lippy stick. This is a very cool tone shade. It's like a greyish taupe colour. But I thought with the lip liner underneath it would be warmer, but it's not. So I'm going to go in with this Kiko lipstick in 926, which is just a berry mauve shade, and apply that on top. And this gives me the perfect nude shade, which is not too warm and not too cool either. But yeah, so with this, the look is complete. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye.